Yes, this is Rafael from Reselling Today. This is one of the first videos that I do. I wanted to talk to you really about garage selling, just garage selling tips in general, right? Basically, part of it's just the negotiation part of it. I think I've been reselling kind of part-time for the last 3.5 years, 4 years. Not really full-time just yet. There's a couple of things I have to take care of, but one of the things, and I probably do about, I want to say 20, 25, 30, either garage sales or estate sales over this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday's not normally garage selling day, but Friday, Saturday, somewhere in there. There's specific things that I definitely want to just recommend and show you, or just talk about in regards to negotiation and garage selling in general when you go out there, because the idea is that you get, if you see an item that you like that you want to resell, that you get at a reasonable price, right? Not dirt cheap, and it's good if you get it dirt cheap, but something reasonable, right? There's two situations in every garage sale, right? The person that's trying to sell, one is they're trying to maximize dollars for the stuff that they have, so they can they're going to have to wait, right? They can wait for the right buyer, either locally or through the garage sale that they can sell it to, right? The second situation is that the seller just wants to clear everything out. They just want to the second strategy is to get rid of everything. Doesn't matter what the profit is, they're just trying to get rid of everything. So two things. One is trying to maximize dollars for the items, and the other one is trying to figure out how to get rid of stuff. So when you get there, you have to figure those two scenarios out. And how you can tell one for the other. One, if they're trying to maximize dollars, they have prices on there. $5, $10, $15, right? And they're very well organized. Those are just a couple of tips that you're going to see if a person's trying to maximize dollars, right, on the garage sale. Very well organized. They've got prices on everything. They've got a tally sheet of everything that they're selling. So then you know that person's trying to maximize dollars, right? The second scenario, where they're just trying to get rid of stuff's unorganized, they just laid it all out, they're not really sure about the prices, and they might even say, hey, we just clear out the garage, right? So those are kind of the two indicators of both scenarios. Now, the other thing I want you to really look at when you go to the garage sale is just pay attention to the conversations that are happening. Meaning that if you overhear the conversations between the seller and another buyer, you might hear that they're just trying to clear out their garage, they're getting rid of everything, they're moving so they can't pack anything away, or you know what, they're trying to raise money, right, for this thing, or for their kids going to college and things like that, right? So in the first scenario where they're trying to get rid of everything, I had one example where I overheard a couple talking about the wife said, I don't want anything back in the garage, and a Harley Davidson Fat Boy seat was there. They wanted $45. Knowing that information, I offered what was a reasonable price at $20, and he took it immediately, right? So you've got to understand those two scenarios in regards to how to approach the price on the garage sale, right? So in that, listen to the conversation, listen to what's happening, but also body language, right, is knowing that if the person's frantic, if they're trying to set everything out, or if they're just relaxed, chilled out. And you'll definitely meet some people, that sellers, that are like, you know what, just offer me what you want, right, or whatever it may be. So okay, now that we talked about that, let's talk about what you do once you get your stuff, once you're there, right? So typically, normally how I handle things is that when I find things I like, I grab them, right? You get them with you, put them with you, and find a spot somewhere that you're going to set these down at. So you want to ask, hey, I grabbed this stuff, can I set this down right here while I continue shopping? Because you don't know the price just yet. You might want to ask, like, hey, what's the price on this? And they might say 5 or 10, whatever that price is. Okay, still bundle those together, put everything together. So once you got your items together, right, you know whether or not they want to maximize dollars, or they're trying to get rid of stuff, right? Whatever situation is, you want to bundle things together. Then the question now becomes, what do you think is a good number for all this, right? right? That's normally the question I ask. What do you think about this? What's your number? And let them answer. Once they answer that, doesn't matter if it's a good price or if it's a way off price, you gotta pause for at least a minute. So when they ask, what I do is I go, let me think about that for a second. I just stare at it for about 30 seconds on habit. I'll look around. Sometimes this happens. Sometimes with the awkward silence, they'll say, well, no. What about this? I've had one person jump to 3 different numbers, lowering their own price before I made a decision, right? Because in your head, you've already got a price, right? And that's always good. I mean, that's scenario. The other thing also is that they're going to pause also, and they're going to fill in the space with conversations, right? Whatever it may be. Oh, it's a good price. That was so and so. Yeah, you can find out on eBay for 20 whatever it may be, right? You can find the other lines. You can find it on eBay, and you're like, okay, I see your price. You get it. What about this? Then you offer the price, right? And they might say, well, chances are, depending on the situation, they might say, what about this? Which may be $10 over, whatever that. Then you have to negotiate what's that midpoint, right? And you're like, okay, great, good price. And if they're trying to maximize dollars, they're going to say, no, I don't like that. Okay. Then at that point, you have to make a decision whether you want to get one specific thing, right, out of that bundle, or you're willing to pay their price and still make a profit out of that, depending on what it is. Normally, if it's video games, Legos, or Pokemon cards, typically I'll pay the price they're asking for, even after negotiation, because I know those are quick sellers. Even if it's a 1x return, right? I'll pay that price because I'm going to flip it quickly. Anything else, more than likely, I'll say no, I'll pass on it, right? Because the other ones are typically slow movers or whatsoever. But there's certain categories that I normally say, okay, depending on the prices, if it's retail market price, I'll say no thanks. But if it's reasonable price that they think they want to get out of that, I'll definitely say, okay, doing that, right? So remember, everything about the garage sale, right, is about approaching, listening, understanding whether they want to quickly sell or maximize dollars, listening to the conversation, right? And what you can control is asking for a price, right? Taking a pulse check of what the prices are. If there's no prices, then you can get a good gauge. And when they ask you, for example, if you say, hey, what's the price? And they say, oh, it's $10. Don't say anything. Say, okay, thank you. They might come back, what do you think? No, let me take a look. Let me shop around. Your answer is always, let me continue shopping, right? Hold on to it, bundle it, put it on the floor. Then when you get everything together, right, as a whole, separately, they might have different prices, but as a whole, you might say, well, what about this price? And throw it out there. You're not going to lose anything if you just throw the number out there. Now, you just have to be careful not to really lowball them, right? You can't go in there and, if you want $90, you can go 10. No, you can't do that, right? You can, but I don't recommend you doing that. If it's 90, and if it's a good thing, you'd probably want to go at least half price. Like, what about 45 or 50? What do you think? And you want to ask the question, hey, what do you think? What do you think? 40 or 45? And you're going to see that they're going, oh, you know what? I don't know. And they might say other things like, okay, tell me your price. They might say, well, it's 100. Well, okay. But I'm at 45, you're at 100. Can we meet in the middle? It's okay to have that conversation. Hey, what if we meet in the middle? What do you think? Like this one person sold me a pair of golf clubs and a box of vintage photographs. He wanted 100. And I said, and I knew the guy. I went to his garage sales a couple of times, right? Really good guy. Always has like vintage stuff. Bill, this name. Got to know him. I said, hey, Bill. You're at 100. So I'm thinking 75. What do you think? He's like, oh no. Then he looks at me and goes, okay, let's do 85. And you get. I said, okay, good. The thing about it, I didn't get my price, but at least I saved $15 from what his asking price was. He had good stuff.
But I know for a fact he's always having garage sales every single quarter, and he's trying to get rid of stuff. I know that for a fact. He's a collector. I don't know. He collects a bunch of vintage stuff. But I know I've bought from him before, and I mentioned that before. It's like, hey, Bill, came before me. You have these things all the time. They great stuff, and build a conversation a little bit. Then when he came in the price, and I came in at 75. Now, if I would have came in at 50, I would have really assaulted him, right? I think I would have offended him saying 50, because he's that type of guy that he's proud about his stuff, right? You kind of have to gauge those individuals, and I'm sure he was proud about it. So I didn't go 50 off the bat. So it's something somewhere in the middle, right? I said, what about 75? And he came back at 85, right? So I saved $15 off the asking price of $100, because I know that stuff I could quickly sell and make twice or three times as much as the $100. But I still kind of met somewhere in that, right? So, and the other thing also, and this is my number one rule of all garage selling or just negotiation in general. Whoever says the price first loses, right? Now, I recently listened to a TikTok video. I got a lot of comments, right, around this person was negotiating a price, and the individual came. I'm not sure it was a collection, and the buyer said 700, and the guy was. You can tell by his conversation, his tone of voice, and the way he was just flabbergasted that he was thinking a way lower price than he was, right? And he says, okay, I'll take it, because I might think, he even said, I was thinking a way lower price. And here's the thing. I get that you're building relationships, you're trying to build relationships to build long-term buying habits with people. I get that. But you gotta remember, you're out there for you're trying to build a business or take care of your family, whatever that situation is, and you've got to maximize dollars. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to take advantage of this individual, right? Maybe the better approach would have been, hey, sir, you know what? What's your price, right? And if they came in at $200, knowing that they had really good stuff, and you're willing to pay $700, and then it's an education moment to say, hey, seller, you know, $200, I think this is what I'm going to do. I think that's a really low price, and I want you to win. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pay your $200, and I'm gonna also pay you up top of that $300 for a total of $500, because you've got really good stuff here. I want to buy more stuff from you. I'm willing to pay you $500 to your $200, then $300 on top of that, because I want more stuff. You bring me more stuff, and I'll do that for you. Because typically people that do that are really uncomfortable around negotiation, and they settle for anything that they get. Right? People that sell like that, they just settle for anything, because they don't want to negotiate, they don't want to confront, they just want to get the money and go. There's people like that. Unfortunately, it's people like that, and that's who they are as an individual. Now, here's the thing. It's a moment in time that you can definitely help that individual doing that, but paying the $200, then more upfront, saying, okay, here you go, right? But it's not your responsibility to take care of him every single time he has a deal, because you're going to lose out in the long run. Can you imagine if you pay that much money every single time you do a deal, and you're way off, but you're okay paying that up front? You're losing a lot of money for yourself, your family, your business, because you're having to take care of people that don't know how to negotiate, right? I'm not saying take advantage of people. If you recognize the individual that has a good, fair price or a really low price on really good stuff, then if you want to educate, help that person, right? Help them become a better seller in that fashion. But it's not up to you to take care of every single person that doesn't know how to negotiate, because in the end, you're going to lose money. You're the one losing money. That's just one moment in time. So take it for what it is. I just want to help you become a better negotiator when it comes to garage selling and get more stuff to sell. Remember, at the end of the day, we all want to win, right? We all want to be able to sell stuff and make the most out of it and take care of our responsibilities at the end of the day, right? But also keep in mind is that we're not here to take advantage of anybody. But also on the other side, we're not here to hold anyone's hand as well, right? So I'm here to help you thank you for watching this video. And again, if you need information, make your comment at the bottom. I definitely want to hear what you think about garage sale negotiating overall. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope to do more to help you out.